Right. What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. I got my mic in a weird position, but it'll have to do. I was just going to do another gameplay video, but I figured tonight, was it Wednesday? Wednesday night, late night, I'd do another rant video. I haven't done one in a while. It's been maybe a couple of months since I did the last one. The last one was pretty raw too. It was I was not holding back on the last video. Hey, cut me some slack. I'm an older dude. I figured tonight I would talk about my about what it is to be an actual real lone wolf. I see a lot of videos where they're talking about like a lone wolf or Sigma or whatever. They got so many names for different things. It's all the same thing, Back in the day they didn't call it that. You were called a lone wolf, or a loner or an introvert. I wouldn't go so far as to say introvert, because that's kind of on the extreme. I still go out and have social interactions. That's just now that I'm older and I'm retired. I've been really truly embraced my lone wolf nature. And, being a lone wolf is not about being lonely or, when you embrace that. And also, a lot of lone wolves are born that way. I've been like this really my whole life. I guess you could say even when I was younger, I was like an outcast. It wasn't that I was unhappy. It's just I was happy when I was on my own, doing my own thing. Exploring the world and absorbing all that information, around us, nature and everything really. Learning it for yourself, not being instructed or being told, Don't get me wrong. When you're younger, sometimes it is good to be instructed on things. Kind of keep us from going astray into wrong directions. I had a few of those moments when I was younger. But now at 54, I've really actually embraced it. And I've never been more happier than in my entire life. And I don't know if being fully retired has a factor to play into that. It probably has some, I have a lot more freedom now, free time. But and with that free time, I've actually I think that's really what's keying into the happiness factor right there. It's that freedom to actually go back and exploring a lot of the things that I passed on when I was younger. Definitely not ever going into any more relationships. As a real lone wolf, when you try to have long-term relationships or romantic relationships, yeah, they almost, for me and my life experience, they've never worked out. They've all ended up the same way, the same, which is me walking away. Especially nowadays, I feel sorry for the younger guys. Boy, what they have to work with now. Now, there's probably some like really nice, good women out there, but the ones that I've noticed, even them, that their expectations and their standards are. It's like they're asking for the guy in the movie, like this fantasy man. They want him to make six figures and be basically they want to mold their men into what they want. And I don't fucking play by that game. If you can't take me for who I am and what I'm about, then why are we wasting our time? So all in all, in my lifetime, I've had three. I've tried it 3 times. Actually 4, because the first one was when I was younger. I was 22 and she was 18. And That was true love, because man, and I really I wanted it back then when I was younger, right? Because I was thinking, okay, look, I've got a good job, I'm making good money, I'm young. Um, I was in the military at the time, and what killed that relationship wasn't my lone wolf factor. It was the military that killed it for me. As I got called away right about the time we were literally gonna get married, and we had only been together for maybe like a year. And I remember because she wanted me to go to Boston to meet her family, and we were going to take a bus. And this was in the 80s. No, actually, it wasn't in the 80s. I was 20, so that would have been in the 90s. I think it was like 1991 or 92. And right about the time we were going to get on the bus or like a week before that, as when I had to go away. I got my marching papers. I was going overseas. And when that happened, that was it. I knew in my back of my mind it wasn't, it was over. And I never knew what ended up happened in her lifetime. I just, it is what it is, or it was what it was. And I didn't really try again after that because I was literally on my own. And I stayed that way until I was in my 30s. And I met this woman online. Big red flag. But way back then, because this was the early 2000s. I believe it was 2006. I don't even remember what site it was. But, and I let myself be talked into it, right? It was my mom and my sister. Because my dad really wanted me to have kids, right? Which that's understandable. But when you're actual real lone wolf, it's hard to make that shit happen and it's not because of not trying on my part. It's just that a lot of women don't know how to deal with a lone wolf or a man that because if you'll know if you're a real lone wolf because you demand a lot of solitary time, and it's how you recoup. It's how you recharge your batteries, right? Because it's very stressful. It is extremely stressful, especially in a relationship. If your partner or the woman has got really high demands as far as your time and your effort, you're in for a hell of a ride. And all 3 times for me was hellacious. And each one of them probably took about 10 years off my life. And I should have learned my lesson on the first one, but I tried it 2 more times after that. Second one ended the same. The first 2 were 3 years each. Both. And they both ended the same, where I literally just walked away. And then this last one, which was last year, I was with her for a year, almost a year. And it was the worst because she was a real life crazy lady. And you don't know. I should have picked up on the red flags. The first red flag I should have picked up on was she wanted to be friends with benefits. And of course, it had been like 11, 12 years before I'd been in a relationship when I met her. So, and as a man, yeah, I had on my mind at that time was pussy, and in the attention or the affection, And I jumped right into it, and boy, did I pay for it. She had her 2 grown daughters that were still living with her, and basically I was used for convenience. That's all it really was. I helped her move twice, and good God, that was horrible. Talk about lazy people, man. They were the most lazy women I had ever met in my entire life. But yet I kept trying because I actually fell in love with this woman. I let myself fall completely in love, and it was an unconditional love. Granted, in the confines of the relationship, right? Because there is no actual real unconditional love. because there's always a what if scenario, or But I walked away from that, and I have not been more happier than I've ever been in my entire life. For one, because I'm retired, I've got my pension, and I have all the fucking freedom that I could ever want. I'm more healthier now. I've never been in such a tip top shape. Hell, I'm in better shape now than I was when I was in my 20s. Because I stick with it, right? Because I feel good about it, is what I should say. That's how I should word it. But I don't have to have that stress of the baggage of a relationship, because as an older man, if you're a single older man, if you're trying to be in that dating scene, almost all the potential candidates for a relationship that you will find is older women, right? And that their life, they're like you, they're going to have baggage and trauma from the past. And with women, it's even worse, because a lot of them, I've noticed now, they still have their oversized grown ass kids that live with them, right? So it's not about being in a relationship just with the woman. You're in a relationship with her entire family. Granted, and they try to use that old attaché that my kids come first, and I'm like, goddamn woman, your kids are grown ass fucking adults in their 20s. Don't they have their own lives to live, or are they still sucking on the teat? So yeah, I told myself when I walked away from that, that's it. I'm going to be a single man, happily single, solitary lone wolf for what remainder of lifetime I have left, because I want the last chapter of my life to be as stress free as possible. That doesn't mean that you can't still intermingle, right? You can still have your friendships, or you could just do it a different way, right? Me, I chose to cut it all completely out, because there's too much attachment to that crap. They have expectations. Like, for say you want to just hook up with someone, just for the sex, right? Doesn't work that way. There's expectations and attachments to those things. Especially that what I've noticed, because it's not just a one-time thing. It's like they immediately want to make you their either husband or boyfriend, right? So I just said, hey, to hell with it. I'm gonna to nip that in the ass and cut out all that stress of the baggage and all that. Is just not to even bother. I literally done away with all my social media, except probably like Facebook. I kept Facebook just because that's just for family stuff. And this includes, I've got maybe like one uh, good friend, not like a best friend. Um, just it's a friend that lives not too far. I live out in the country, and he's pretty cool dude. So we occasionally go fishing and shoot the shit, or whatever. But other than that, it's me and my dog and my gaming. I have to have my games, man. And that's what my channel is. My channel is just me either ranting or me playing games, the games I want to play. And I don't really care if people actually, I'm not trying to grow a channel or to be, make it huge. I don't really care, If people watch it, then that's cool. If they don't, then that's also cool. I mean, I'm doing it for myself, really. But at the same time, I know people will watch them, and that's why I like to do my rant videos. It's mostly just for the men, you know. Maybe if I can somehow help them from getting trapped in a horrible relationship, you know. Because I know men, I know especially the younger guys, they got that pussy on the brain, and it leads them to fall into the traps. Now, don't get me wrong, there is some good solid women out there. I'm just at my age, I figured those chances flew by a long time ago, many years ago. I'm never going to have kids. That's a given. I've already accepted that. Doesn't mean that I didn't want to have kids. I really did want to have at least two kids in my life, like a boy and a girl. Pass on my name, keep the bloodline going. But it didn't happen. I pretty much was married to my career. But I guess I've been going on for quite a while now. So I'll go ahead and cut this video short. I'll try not to make it as long of a wait next time for my next rant video, but I hope you got some type of entertainment out of this. If not, hey, I appreciate you clicking. And if I did reach a few of the men, then let me know in the comments. Peace.